Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baka podcast.
Baka. It's amazing how every time you open your mouth, you prove you're an idiot.
Recording. You are being recorded.
Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Baka. We are an anime podcast where every 2 weeks we discuss an anime we've recently watched, and then we let you discuss it after you've watched it, so that all the discussions have happened after the watching. And we are talking about Vinland Saga Season 2, the first 12 episodes in this episode of our podcast, chosen by you, the viewers, the few of you that voted, and that's why we're talking and discussing this show that we watched. And to do so, I need the help of my co-host. First off, we have the Sven to my Gwen. It's Jeremy with his Viking hot take.
Someone's phoning it in.
Yes. Eyebrows. We need more eyebrows on Vikings. They look really bad without eyebrows.
That is a hot take. And then we have the Floyd to my jam. Floyd Jam. It's a thing, I'm sure. You look it up. It's Jason, his Viking hot take.
I guess pillaging is easier than tilling the ground.
The Vikings would agree with you.
Take. And my name is Troy, and my hot take is bowl cuts should have never gone out of fashion. Vikings knew what was up.
Yeah, that's a weird bit of lore, but it's true.
It is true. Make a bowl cut Viking movie, Hollywood, you cowards.
Yep.
Lore accurate.
Even the Northmen, which was super lore accurate to Vikings, still had like the long hair and long beards instead of the bowl cuts. And
That's because it looks cooler.
you cannot make bowl cuts look cool. It's just, but I still want to see it. That's my hot take. All right. From there, we're going to talk about. I've been doing this too long. Non-spoiler reviews about Vinland Saga 2. It's Jason with his non-spoiler review. Jason, no spoilers, please. No spoilers.
So you see, there's this king, and he's gonna
What's his name?
Man, it's a complete vibe shift from season 1, and I don't. Not only was I not prepared for it, but I wonder if I came into season 2 without seeing season 1, I would feel differently. This almost feels like a completely different story that just happens to be borrowing characters from another story. And I was disappointed at that because I was hoping to see some continuation of the characters that I got to see cool stuff too, and like there's one, but then all the other cool characters that I remember, like we get like 4 minutes screen time with them, and then they're just gone, and it's like, okay, I guess we're done with that. So I remember the first season ended up, Troy had mentioned this almost as like a prologue to the actual story of Vinland Saga. This feels like more prologue.
So that's a recommend, don't recommend, general review.
Very middle of the road.
All right. Way to commit. Jeremy.
That's Troy's territory.
This
Yeah.
this fence is very comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of the first 12 episodes. Well, really just like the first 10 episodes or so. This first half of season 2 is so slow. Jason's absolutely right when he says it's a major tone shift. And there's a lot of like emphasizing and re-emphasizing characters' emotional states. And that just wasn't really what this show was about. And I wasn't a huge fan of season 1. Like I do remember Vinland Saga fondly as far as like its quality, and perhaps even its accuracy, but it was also very dark, very gritty, and I was expecting more of that. So I don't know. I should be actually happy that I didn't get more of that since I don't like it, but at the same time, it felt so strange and out of place. I kept I kept waiting for something to happen, and it seemed like nothing did for a very, very long time.
I'm very much in the same boat. It starts and I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. We're taking it back to square one. We're starting slow. We're getting our steps in, and then we're gonna pick up the pace any moment now. All right, I'm sure this arc. Okay, we're gonna end this arc. Oh, look, here's something happening. This arc's gonna end, and we're gonna really start digging into. Okay, nope, nope. All right, we're back to this thing. We're doing more of the basic stuff. Okay. Oh, we're repeating these themes. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. Any moment. It is episode 9. You've got to move.
Yes.
And I'm sure in the next 12 episodes, it all serves a purpose. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are hearing us talk about this right now and be like, no, 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 no. This all pays off. And I am very confident that it does. But I do feel the delivery is flawed here, and that it just took a long time to say a very basic thing. I felt like what they were doing and the establishing they were doing, they could have done in half the time they took.
Mhm.
And I remember season 1, they took a long time to establish, you know, the main character's childhood life and how he felt about things, and his father and his father's like mantra worldview. And I remember that being slow, and then it built and built and built. But again, I felt like we just spun wheels here, and unnecessarily. And of course, yeah, I could watch the next 12 and be like, oh, I was totally wrong. If we hadn't done it that slow, this would have never worked. But I don't think so. I just feel like they just spun a little too much, like 3 or 4 episodes too many. So it's. I've also had the thought, how am I going to recap this? Because
Without just repeating yourself over and over again.
It's very slow conversations and staring at scenery, and then the next episode having almost the same conversation and staring at slightly different scenery.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough to recap, though, I'm gonna be honest. So I feel like confident storytellers are working here, but they might have made a slight misstep on these episodes. So I don't want to say I don't recommend watching Vinland Saga, though, because like there's skill there. You can see the skill in the storytelling. It's just I wasn't entertained.
Are you
At the
not
end of the day.
entertained?
I was
Yes.
not. All right. We're moving on to everyone's favorite segment, along with the Meister of the sound form, Jason. It's Tanya's take. I gave too much credit.
I didn't even hear anything.
Didn't make any noises.
Thanks a lot. I hated this. I am not watching anymore.
Oh,
See,
no.
She insults not just us. It's everybody. She hates everybody.
Equally.
All right, let's talk about the opening and closing. Hey, have you guys ever played the game of life and had a ball? Just asking for a friend.
What does that mean?
It's the AD. I played the game of life and had a ball.
Oh, gotcha.
It sticks in my head for some reason, really bad.
Okay.
OP was okay. Music was good. The visuals were fantastic, but like it had a very sitcom-y vibe almost. Like this is just like the thing we do. And then the the ED was serviceable. It was fine. I didn't hate it. Didn't love it.
I swear I know that song from the OP. It's got to be a remake. The River Take Me song. Like, I swear that song exists.
I could see that.
Yeah. I thought it was great. As far as the music goes, but also I had this really strong sense that I liked the original better of that song.
Dark Crow's on my playlist from season 1, and I think it's part 2 of season 1 OP, and
Yeah.
it's like one of my favorite anime openings. So nothing was gonna live up to it.
No, I mean the River Take Me original song.
Oh,
I
that?
can't remember.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know. There's something about it. Like I have this really weird memory of hearing that song, and I swear I like the original more. It was still nice though. Imagery was great. For me, it was just like, hey, do you remember the characters, and look at all the arms and hands. That's gonna mean something after you watch it for a while.
Right.
I was confused when I saw it the first time though. And then the outro, it's a pretty song. It just didn't feel right here.
It goes great
like
with Fields of Wheat. What are you talking about?
I know it does, but at the same time, it was like, that's not a Vinland Saga song. Like that doesn't. It's not the right tone that I'm looking for. Like,
I'll say this about the ED. While the song is pretty, and I don't really mind the song, it to me it has this flavor of like, I live my life to the fullest. I'm like, lady, they're slaves. They are not living their life to the fullest. What are you talking about? They haven't got there yet. So yeah, I felt a little bit of a disconnect. Oh, OP was fine. Again, they used Dark Crow back in season 1, and that song just rocks. The songs were slow and nice, but also very much showing we're just like hanging out, planting wheat. It's all good. and
making wheat products.
Wheat and wheat byproducts.
This is how bread's made.
It's a welcome to Night Vale reference for podcast lovers. Yeah, it was fine, I guess. It wasn't really what I wanted, though.
We are playing Stardew Valley over here.
Yeah.
Okay, our next anime is going to be the final season of My Hero Academia. We watched the first season. Now we're going to watch the final season. And these two guys skipped everything in between.
Yes, we did.
So let's just see how that lands. Oh, don't stop. We'll get monetized. Demonetized? Are we monetized yet? No, we are not.
No.
Wait, what if we are and Jason's keeping all the checks?
He's the YouTube man.
Hey, I think gotta.
Jig is up.
And just to confirm, we are recording.
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
Wait, you don't want to do this twice? Go on.
Professional.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler
Dropped.
warning for the first 12 episodes of the second season of Vinland Saga.
We might go over some stuff in the first season, so if you haven't seen that, that might show up too.
Why are you
maybe.
watching the second season episode then?
You know what? Our Gotcha Kuda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Part 2
Way
blew
more than
up
part
on
one?
YouTube.
Mm.
Part 1's got like tiny views. Part 2, everyone clicked. I'm like, what? That doesn't make
Why?
any sense.
It doesn't get better. Why?
It's the same thumbnail. It doesn't make sense. All right. Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 1. We start in a little village in England where a man is
Death
practicing
flags.
hitting trees. Yeah, while his mother and sister are just throwing death flags all over the place.
Death flags.
Don't worry about being attacked. Just enjoy this nice
Yeah.
summer day.
Yes,
Cut
it's
to
happened
being attacked.
before, but it's fine.
It'll never. Lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place.
Literally happens that night. You can't buy a death flag that would. This character, and the reason he's hitting the tree is because he can practice being a warrior, so he can protect his village, even though everyone laughs at him for doing something so dumb. This is Einar. What do you guys think of Einar? Our new main character or not?
I couldn't stand him.
Deuteragonist.
He ugh. So they had some silliness to the first season, but throughout it, it was hardcore Viking. We're going and pillaging and burning stuff, like dropping this anime trope into this story felt not just out of place, but he ended up being the most irritating character to watch. Zero strategy, zero forethought of anything, 100% emotionally run. And I understand his place in the story. I understand he is the polar opposite to Thorfinn, right? I understand that he's without some of his antics, the story doesn't move along in the way they want it to. I just didn't like it. And this character irritated me at every step. The only smart thing I think he did was, hey, I need to get stronger so I can protect this town in case anything happens. Like, that was like, oh, that makes sense. That's the only forethought you ever did, except for I know how to farm. Anyways,
You mean
rant
that
over.
forethought, like when we're first introduced to him, that
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah, like that's
That he
the
then
only
stops-
forethought he puts into anything else in the entire season.
Well, I guess he's just really depressed because it didn't work at all.
Well, his mom told him, "Hey, you don't need to do that. It's fine."
Yeah, take a knife to the head. Yep.
So, yeah, that's what I thought of Einar. Einar.
Einar.
Einar.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either. Those are all excellent reasons. I found him to just be he's obviously the character that we get to see the fallout for Thorfinn's actions, so that's in our faces, so that we understand not just what's happening inside of Thorfinn, but also, what happened because of Thorfinn. And so that we can experience the anger and frustration of that character, especially when he realizes who Thorfinn is, not as an individual, but as part of an army, and the atrocities that he committed. So, like, that's one facet of why Einar's there. And yeah, it's important. It does help, but his antics were absolutely ridiculous. There were so many times where he shifted and it felt like I was in any other anime where you'd have a protagonist suddenly become super animated and super like joyful and emotional. And it just felt out of place, given the environment and the brevity of everything that was happening. It was way too serious in my mind to do that. Really, really weird. Not really a fan of him.
While I don't disagree, I feel it's a little overly harsh, but it's also correct. Like, he was a little over emotional. I didn't find it so bad to the point where like I didn't like the character. I do like the counterpoint and the opposite he is to Thorfinn. He's a civilian, a victim, where Thorfinn was a aggressor. This is the path he chose. I need to call out though the English dub actor. I have said on this podcast I am a fan of this English dub voice. I don't remember the name, but I know the voice anytime I hear it, and I do really like the voice. He's one of my favorite voice actors. However, in Vinland Saga, you know how they say some people have a face you can tell has seen an iPhone? Like so when they play like an old timey character or a character like in the past, it's like no, I can't believe this character. I can't believe Keira Knightley would be in the past. That's clearly someone who's looked at an iPhone. You can just tell from their face. That's his voice. He's got a very modern voice. So, he's the way he emotes, the way he talks, on this farm about plows, about wheat. And I'm like, that's a guy who talks about iPhone settings. I could just hear it in his voice. Um, that's probably not fair. It's just something I felt. Just there's something about the way he talks that was very modern.
But I don't think that was necessarily his fault. I think it was the fault of the writing, and the animation, mainly because I think I agree with you that his counterpoint to Thorfinn was a good decision. However, I think if they just took him from 11 and turned him down to a 7, like I think it would have worked a lot better. But because of the emoting, because of the over the top emotionalness, I 100% see what you're talking about, because I watched the dub as well. I would totally agree. It's like, that guy owns a PC. Like,
He's in an isekai.
I just heard his voice has, and usually I really like this. His voice has just a little bit of sass in it, and I don't think that's right. He sounds like this in every anime, and usually, like in a modern anime, it endears me to the characters he plays. They're a little sassy. They got a little bite to every comment they make. On a guy who's a slave talking about a plow, I'm like, it's off. It's just off. Again, it's a very personal thing, probably, but it bugged me the entire time. Every time he talked, I was like, I can't buy this guy is in 18th century Denmark. It's just, or wherever we are. Yeah. So I guess I don't land on the high praise of the character. I just don't think he was as bad as you guys do. All right. Guess what, guys? Their village is attacked that very night.
Who could have seen that coming?
And now I get to rant a little bit.
please.
At Crunchyroll. Because I'm watching English dub and I turn on subtitles. That's the best of both worlds for me, because I can look down and still hear the people talking and take notes. But if I need to see a name pronounced or something, and I watch most television now with subtitles. I went through Noisy Children. It just became a way I watch television. It's not even that normal now. Crunchyroll has clearly turned to new techniques to provide their closed caption. And these are not, let me be clear, these are not English dub or English subtitles. These are the closed caption subtitles. And they're clearly being done by AI. And they are not hearing anything right. There is a scene after the mother is dying. The mother's been hurt. He's gone back to her, and the sister comes back, and she's trying to tell Einar to take the sister and run. And the phrase that comes out is like, "Give it to her deep" or something like that. And it's what the subtitle says. Now, I can hear the real line. It's not that big a deal. But there are people who need the closed captions who are hard of hearing. This is an essential way. I saw someone talk about Walmart in the subtitles.
A very Viking traditional name, by the way.
Like they're clearly switched to AI, but there's also nobody double checking it or going back. They don't understand the name Einar or Thorfinn. They were never coming out right. It was bad, and a lot of people are upset at cost cutting Crunchyroll is doing. They switched to new subtitle services and stuff. This is some of the worst I've ever seen. And again, makes a scene completely out of context. If I wasn't, if I was hard of hearing, I couldn't have watched this anime.
Or you'd be very confused at least.
What?
It would be a very different anime for you.
Like of all the times, the woman's dying, grabbing his shirt, and that line comes out. It's like, oh, that's bad. So bad, Crunchyroll, very bad. Shame on you.
At least pay somebody to double check these things.
Do something.
Good grief.
Yeah, they're okay. He gets captured after Okay,
Mom
we're
gets
gonna-
shot.
mom
I,
shot.
okay, I want to rant just a little bit. This is like the very first, like, he is a dum dum.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's on the ground. Obviously, the guys are not within reaching distance yet that has shot her. She's saying, "Get your sister out of here. They're going to do terrible things to her." And I can't. What do you mean you can't? You you have no loyalty to your mother or care for your sister? Obviously not, because then the guys casually walk up to them. Sister comes back to mourn her mom, who's not quite dead yet, and the guys kill her, then like capture him, and like mom dies on the ground. It's like, this was the most infuriating scene I've seen in quite some time. Because it's just like, I can't. And from that moment, I had no connection to this character throughout the rest of the story, and it fueled my dislike of him even further.
You are right. I remember thinking, as a parent, I consider it my job to be the sacrifice to save my children. But if they waste it, if they just stand there, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, this was one of those scenes where when he started to go all emotion faced, like I thought, oh, he's gonna go berserk. Like, this is the clear telltale berserk thing. We're gonna see he's a big boy. They made the comment that he's grown into a large man, so he's probably really powerful. I did, maybe that's why they were showing us how deeply he was able to sink the axe into the tree, is because he's gonna go berserk now and he's gonna kill these guys, and then we're
Nope.
gonna have a new contender, and we're gonna no. And this kept happening for the entire like first 8 to 10 episodes. Is there kept being moments where I was like, oh, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, they're gonna make the story interesting, and then inevitably they're like, no, none of that. We're not having any of that.
We don't do that here.
This was the first one. Yeah, take your interesting ideas elsewhere. We have fields to talk about.
When they're captured, the sister fights back and she gets killed, and then they just capture Einar, who has been told by his mom to just live, always live, so he keeps on surviving. Horrific scene of like the slaves on the boat, and a woman gets sick, so they just pick her up and throw her in the ocean because she's not making it anyway.
I mean, they
Might
made the right.
contaminate the rest of the
They
product.
made the right decision. It was terrible, but
They did. Yeah. Who are your co-hosts, Troy? I see your face. It's great.
You could have at least snuffed her out before you threw her in the ocean to drown.
oh, that's fair. Okay,
Simple,
I
simple blade.
They could have done it better. Yeah.
I understand the logic you're going for, but yeah, it was completely without any compassion. It wasn't like poor soul won't make it. We have to make this cut. It was like, oh no, that's gross. Let's throw it in the water. It
Did
was
you get
not.
it on you?
It was clearly not just, oh, this is what we have to do. It was like, no, we don't even bother with this. We just
Yeah, they don't.
We just
They're
throw this in the
definitely
water.
calloused. Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah, they're products, not people.
That's right.
Right. Once they reach Denmark, they're put on market. Einar manages to escape once, but he's caught thieving and he's beaten and put back on the line. Eventually, a old man comes along. It's Leaf. Leaf
Orphan's
Erickson.
uncle or something like that.
He calls himself that, but he was just an explorer.
They're from the same town. No.
He was just a visitor. He
Oh,
was
okay.
yeah.
Good friend of the family, basically.
Yep.
From the season 1. It had been there when Thor died. Wasn't his name just Thor?
Thor's.
When Thor's had died and promised to take care of Thorfinn, but Thorfinn had snuck on Asklad's boat.
Yep.
And has been searching for him ever since. But eventually a farmer comes along, a rich man named Kettle, and he buys Einar and takes him to his farm. And I'm seeing if Nope. And this is where he meets the other new slave, who is Thorfinn. So Thorfinn, we'll talk about him in a second, but he's basically from season one. Because the man he swore to kill is dead, he has no purpose in life and has just become an emotionless husk who has found himself now in slavery. Your guys' thoughts on Thorfinn?
If they had condensed this down to like 4 episodes, I think I would have really, really enjoyed it. Because like we get to like, because he's forced into this life of mediocrity and slow pace, he's forced to deal with like he's not in the moment of being a warrior. He's not in the moment to moment violence. He has to deal with, well, actually he doesn't for quite some time, where he's just like, yeah, I don't remember a lot of it. And then, you know, the PTSD really bubbles up and just takes over like his mind for a while. I thought it was a great way to tell that kind of self-reflection of a warrior that's basically been defanged. So because it drug on so long, I started to lose some connection to his pain and his what he was dealing with, because we would hyper focus on him for like an episode and a half, and then all of a sudden we're doing other stuff with other characters. I get it, but like when we got back to him, he's still dealing with like we're not moving on. And I get it's a long process for him. Fair enough. However, I'm not here for real world therapy. I'm here to watch and be entertained. So like I get it. I just didn't like the long drawn out delivery of it. So beyond that, however, I did like the overarching theme that he brought.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. I mean, I realized that it was a very long time, like 3+ years span over the really Borfin time. But it's just more than it needs to be. I think. Yeah, every scene is either repeated or drawn out. So
Yeah, but that's not really talking about the character.
there isn't much more to him other than that. You know, he is a character that's dealing with guilt, regret, PTSD, coming to terms with what he's done in the past, making a decision to find redemption. But that's not enough. They don't portray it as enough. It's really, there's just so much time where he's just staring off into nothing, or maybe mildly smiling, or looking questioningly when Einar says something. Like those are the moments with him. There you get like maybe 1 or 2 scenes where he actually engages and does something important. I'm thinking specifically of like the sequence with Snake and Fox, and then later the sequence when the other retainers met them on the road, right? Like those were 2 sequences where he actually acted out and did things. The rest, it was just like dialogue about essentially him coming to terms with everything, and that just got old.
Pacing aside, um, I like what they're going with Thorfinn, especially because it's a full circle coming back to Thor's worldview. Now that he's committed these atrocities, and once we see him as he's coming out to the other side of that, and getting through that PTSD, we've mentioned that yada, kind of understanding his dad at a whole new level, and seeing the connection of that arc from where we started in season 1 of I want to be a warrior like my dad, and I want to kill, and then now he has countless kills on his belt. Doesn't want him, is disgusted with his actions, sees the value in life. that's really cool. Everything they've said about the pacing is 100% correct. And it is like, hey, what if I just stare at Anar for 30 seconds and
Yeah.
quizzically? Um, so again, what they've done is great. The way they've done it is slow, but that's going to be repetitive. So
We need that like record of Lodos War 2-second clip of the guy
it,
riding
it,
by
it was
smiling.
it was
at him.
tonal whiplash going from one anime to the other of like, hey, we've done a whole war in an episode.
Yeah.
But the one thing that really drives me crazy is that they do it with another character. They time skip to like, here's major points of this character's arc so you can touch in with him. And with Thorfinn, they're like, nah, just watch the little seedlings grow
Right.
all day long.
So I know we've shown this stump, but did you see this stump?
Exactly.
Have you
Yes.
guys seen them remove a tree? Because we're gonna do it like 8 more times. Yeah, I thought we could have done a lot of this in like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Easily.
Because like I said, I like the theme. I would love to explore it, but just to explore it for 9 episodes is a little rough.
All right. Let's talk about Kettle, because I think he's actually one of the most interesting characters in this season. Your guys' thoughts on Kettle, the farmer slave owner?
Yeah, I liked what they did with him. And I love his lore that he was not a part of. He, to keep up appearances and to, probably, was telling yarns to his kids. He pretended that he was this great warrior when obviously he's more, taking over the family business. What I liked about him was really in the scene where he had to punish the thieving children. It showed that he not only is he a big softy, and he knows what's right and he knows what has to be done, and he begrudgingly does it, but not because. But he wants to be. He desires and yearns to be merciful, and with he's one of the few characters in this world that has immense amounts of wealth and is not brutal. And it was a nice reprieve. However, it became kind of unbelievable a little bit, just because of the world that they'd already established, and anyone in power needed to have some sort of brutality to them for the for the Vikings to follow, right? And so, he's hired mercenaries to guard his land, but the mercenaries obviously don't respect him very much. He's constantly offering his slaves ways to buy themselves back, which that's just not a thing in that time period, I don't think. Or if it was extremely rare.
Seemed brilliant to me because he gets more land every time that happens. Like, he makes out like a bandit every time that works out.
Well, it's all his land.
It's already his land. But
Yeah.
Right,
he
but
gets
now
the
he has
farmland.
has more farmland thanks to
Yeah.
them, because they have to give the land back when they're done.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets all that forest. I mean, yes, he could just make them clear the forest anyway, but this incentive of, you'll do all the work I need you to do, and in your spare time, you'll make me richer, and then you'll get to be free.
Well, he could just withhold the free part and go, plant me more wheat, and I get it all.
Yeah.
So like, I completely agree with you. I think that's a cool way to keep incentive and keep people in line that are in a situation they don't want to be in. Like that, that's a good idea. I just don't see people of that time period having that kind of forethought, or at least What's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say I kept imagining that he was just lying to them to motivate them, and then when the time comes, he's gonna pay them less than it's worth for the wheat, and so they never pay it off, or in some other way, he will trick them essentially into remaining slaves perpetually while still abiding by the technical terms of his agreement.
So in short,
Except for Potter exists.
right.
I know. And I also was suspicious because Potter never opened his eyes, if I remember correctly.
Not
So
a
I was
good
like,
sign.
what are you hiding, man?
Right. As a character, I liked him. His place in the story pulled me out of the Vinland Saga world, if you will.
Hmm.
So
Between him and Einar. Different ways. Yeah, I didn't mind the guy for the most part. There were a couple of times where I thought, wow, this guy is really whiny. Like after the children event where he punished the kids, I was also thinking, seriously, like a stick? You could have used a belt. I mean, they're growing kids. Like if you do have to do something like that, even in Viking times, you probably don't want to break bones or do anything that's going to severely damage them. Same reason that they didn't cut their arms off, right? Um, so then afterwards, when he's like crying in the lap of his slave mistress, um, and I'm like,
dead in the
okay,
eyes. Ugh.
yeah. And I'm like, dude, 99 out of 100 days, you're a wealthy merchant that's eating well and seems to be living a pretty happy life. I mean, I don't understand why you're saying that your life is miserable. Like, sure, you had a bad day. Yes. But like your entire life, like just how severely he was impacted, and the things that he was saying in that scene. I was like, this just doesn't make sense to me because he's such a
I think that was the point.
what do you mean?
So I had a very different take on the children's scene from
Oh, okay.
Jason, which is that he's a character. He's a very good moral character, right up till the point where his wealth would be threatened or taken away in any way. He doesn't want the children beaten at all. They're just kids. He completely understands. He's completely like, hey, this is hardly a thing. They had to survive. Who cares? But can't look weak in front of everyone because then they won't follow orders. If they don't follow orders, the wheat doesn't get farmed, and then I lose money. And then, yeah, this rich man crying to a slave he forces to have sex with him, saying, "Oh, poor me, poor me." It's showing that it's a very complex character. He's not just a good guy, and this came to me because of the old man being like, why does he keep expanding? Why does he keep growing it?
Yeah.
You get so rich, you get yourself problems. He's too greedy. Kettle is to me is fascinating because he is a good person at his core, but all this wealth around him and the fact that he just wants to keep it growing and not even seeing, yeah, I'll free slaves except for the one I like to use for my personal use.
Yeah.
But then I cry to them about how hard it is. Yeah, he's not just a good guy. He's good and bad in his own ways in a very complex morality time. I thought it was fascinating to see because is he gonna go back on the deal? And then this scene of him crying and being this big baby of I want to do good things, but oh my money, I can't lose my money. To a slave girl who's not interested, who's clearly interested in another person, and just the lack of self awareness he has, it felt very realistic to me. I've heard many rich people tell me how hard their lives are.
I know. How many cried in your lap, Troy?
Just the two, but that doesn't matter. Was that me or Julia Roberts? I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
That's a deep cut. What is that, 90s? God.
I just saw a TV show. Oh, Wonder Man. I just watched Wonder Man, and they made a Pretty Woman major reference. So okay, it happens.
It still happens even today.
Still happens.
Even if it was 35 years ago.
I guess I'm just saying. Whereas Einar is more cut and dry, and Thorfinn's our protagonist. I kind of liked having this good guy, but it reminded me of a very different, but like Aslot, of like he's not just good, he's not just evil. He's a product of times and situation, and society, and that Vinland Saga likes to make those characters and show them in all their, basically strip them down so we get to see all the bad and good parts.
All
I
the
like
nuance.
as a character, not like as a person, not like I would be friends
Yeah.
Right.
with the slave owner. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
in the story, I thought he was complex, and you don't get that a lot.
I guess one of the things I was thinking of is I kept looking for a character that I wanted to root for or get behind, or you're always looking for a character that you resonate with or that's going to keep you coming back, and I couldn't find one. And there were a lot of qualities that he had where I thought, hey, maybe this is the guy. And then he goes and like wusses out like this. And I'm like, there's something really wrong with this guy. And I don't, so that, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like as a character that's been designed, that is interesting. But as far as like as a character that I would enjoy watching, I found him annoying. It reminds me of Game of Thrones, right? Where like if they are good characters, they're probably gonna die. Like just being good is a death flag,
Yeah.
Right.
you know? And
Boromir.
I've had that feeling about him a lot in this as well, where like if he isn't, like I kept waiting for there to be a scenario, and I'll point it out a couple of different times, but where he would get killed and then his farm would be inherited by someone who would be more brutal.
I know one. I'm gonna free you as soon as I get back from this trip.
Yeah, death flag
like-
right there.
Man.
I was like, oh, they're never getting freed.
They're never getting
Yep.
freed.
Yep. That one of those horrible sons is coming back. I don't know which one.
I would have been like, can you write that down? Can you write that down? on
Exactly.
something?
Yep.
No, I don't think any of the like I haven't seen the next half, but like I have a feeling none of them are coming back.
I think the next half is the farm goes to war with Denmark.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They just. Oh yeah. Okay, we'll get to it. Never mind. You're right. You're right.
Speaking of which, what we've been alluding to, Kettle explains, hey, I have, there's a river over there and there's all this forest land. And if you will clear the forest and till the land, and then you guys plant and farm your own crops, I'll buy them from you. And when you hit the value of what I paid for you, you'll be free. And I'll free you, and then I will inherit the land. He actually said, I'll buy the land back from you. Which again is, he's found out, I have a great way of expanding, and it usually turns into new workers because, hey, they get fair deal. His head, it's not, I guess, servant, but it's a paid for servant, not a slave servant. It talks about he had the same deal, and his name is Potter, and he helps run the farm. And so Einar and Thorfinn, but the forest is huge. Like, it's so many trees to the point where I'm like, did they overdraw trees? This seems impossible, but that is the point.
Yeah.
It's inhumanely huge task. And Thorfinn and Einar meet, even though Thorfinn doesn't say much, and they work at chopping trees, and it's very slow. They're using a horse to help clear the trees. And then some workers, they're called
Retainers.
retainers, come visit, and they're supposed to be the ones clearing the trees with the horse, and they don't do it because they look down on slaves, even though they're like literally just like one level up from them, and then that's exactly why they do it. And they hardly feed them. Einar gets all pissy at them, and we just kind of get used to this life. So this is going to repeat. It's clearing trees, but they also have to help with the normal harvest and all the other farm work. And then their extra time, they do this. The retainers don't like them. We meet Omar, who is Kettle's youngest son. He's like 17
Hate this character.
at this point. He is a buffoon.
Yeah.
They tried
I
to
know,
give
he's
him a
missing
pompadour.
that
Missing
hair.
a pompadour. I knew it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
I
missing the
thought
pompadour hairdo.
they even do, like, he combs his hair at one point, does
Yeah.
the slick back, and I'm like, oh, so in modern times this guy would have a pompadour. It
Yeah.
totally animates. I had the
Yep.
same thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is during harvest time, and he's all pissy because he doesn't want to be a farmer. He wants to be a warrior. And then he goes and he bangs the servant girl, and then the servant girl's parents are outside, like, "Oh, we're gonna be part of the family." And then he hears them, and he gets all pissy. He's like, "No one understands me." And then we meet the guest, and the guests are just warriors that are paid to live on the farm as basically bodyguards at the farm, and they take Omar to their camp. And
So this was another scene where I was like, oh, those guys, they're not just drunk servants coming over, because we don't know who they are when they're
Right,
introduced. It
right,
just looks like they're a couple of drunk servants. And
and
then
they start leading him away.
yeah, they start leading away, and it shows you that they have a sword on their hip, and they're like, "Come on, come with us." And I'm like, "Are they gonna kill his son for some reason? Like, is this gonna get interesting?" Was it? No, no, no.
Well, I had the same thought because I'm like, okay, so this is the arc we use to kind of set things up, and then there's going to be some
Mhm.
event that catapults our characters out of this arc into the next one, and I keep waiting for that to happen, and nope. So yeah,
Yeah.
Omar goes here and he gets all pissy. So they're like, "Hey, we know what to do. You need to kill a man." So they go the next morning. They go and get two slaves. It happens to be Einar and Thorfinn. They're like, "Hey, kill these guys." Einar starts fighting back. He's like, "Thorfinn, run!" And Thorfinn's like, I don't run. I don't care."
Mhm.
To the point where it upsets the guest. I think it's Fox who gets all
Fox.
pissy about him. He starts cutting Thorfinn to teach him oh, you don't think you're scared of dying? Everyone's scared of dying. I'm cutting you. But then, out of nowhere, out of a cardboard box, Snake appears.
He's back.
Snake.
The leader of the guest is a man named Snake. He punishes his warriors for misbehaving, and he recognizes how tough Thorfinn is. So he does a quick attack on him, and Thorfinn gets a flash of Askeladd. If you don't remember who he is, he was like the best character ever back in season one. As far as complex characters, great character.
Yep.
And Thorfinn defends himself with some of his old fighting moves for like the first time in ever. Kind of like almost like a Jason Bourne thing. Like I didn't even know I could do that.
Last time ever too.
Yeah. Also, Thorfinn has nightmares. Oh yeah,
He screams.
they go to the Potter to get bandaged up, and then we find out Thorfinn has nightmares, and he wakes up screaming all the time. Don't worry, we'll cover it 4 more times.
Yeah.
We won't explain it here either.
Mm-mm.
Oh, and the farmer's daughter, not his daughter, his servant girl, who we later find out he's banging.
Yep.
Do you know how many times I wondered if Thorfinn had genuinely like gotten partial amnesia or full amnesia? Like how many times he just kept saying, "I don't remember. I don't remember."
No, it's PTSD suppression of memories. That's what it is.
That makes sense. But it was, given it's an anime, amnesia is par for the course.
Yeah, but
kinda thought-
it obviously wasn't full amnesia because he kept having flashes of his old life. This was 100% like memory, it's trauma memory suppression. So.
Yeah.
Einar gets really upset at Thorfinn for being a former raider and tries to kill him at night, but then decides not to. And
Because he's a wimp.
Einar, yeah. And
Yep.
Thorfinn just keeps having nightmares.
Yeah, he just sleeps through it.
And this is another example of why I can't stand this character. Not only does he have no forethought, he finally comes back to the realization that, oh, it probably wasn't even Thorfinn at my farm. And it probably wasn't even his fault at all.
I mean, I don't think. Of course, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah, it was the English that burned his town down the first time.
It doesn't matter. He knew it was never him. He's the kind of person who would do this to other people, and he hates all raiders.
Well, yeah, but like they've been friends for some time now before that information was divulged. He's just so impulsive and so emotional. I can't stand this kind of character.
No, this one made more sense to me because he's had nothing to lash out at to for all this pain he's been caused.
Yeah, so let's
And
do it to my partner that's helping me clear land. Let It's even a tactical. Like, it's just terrible.
Oh, he's definitely not a tactical
yeah,
guy.
some people don't always make tactical decisions, you know.
Obviously, and that's why I can't stand this character. I don't like him.
Yeah, I know, and
The
you've
only one
had good reasons up till now.
the only one I don't like more than him is Osborne? No. Osmos? No.
Oh, the son?
Yeah, the son. Mainly because he's an impulsive, emotional mess, and he looks like he should have a
Omar.
pompadour, and I can't stand this character in anime.
Yeah, Olmar. Yeah.
Olmar, that's it. I should thank Pikmin.
Well, we're taking a break from that story,
Because
and we're
so much has happened. We need a break.
You should see on the Wikipedia, you should see the image that they're using for Olmar's character. He's literally like doing a pompadour face and combing his hair. Like it's just spot on.
Just can't.
all right. We're gonna catch up with another major character from season 1. This is Prince Canute. Your guys' thoughts on Prince Canute?
Great character. Very conniving, and I like the way his political machinations are shown and not so much explained. Some of it is, some of it you get to see in action, and I think a lot of stories have even outside of anime have a hard time having compelling political drama that makes sense either in the moment or through the machinations of what it's doing. This character is well done. Plus, with his own personal, like, he's obviously going insane. Really cool imagery as well. And like the whole I'm gonna knock out my opponents without them even knowing I'm doing it is really cool as well. So yeah, really cool character.
He was fine. I'm not the kind of guy that enjoys stories where there's bad guys but no clear good guy. Even if the bad guys have even like a shred of good motivation for what they're doing, still bad guys. Just the way that they're portrayed. And so having Canute be the most interesting character, which is undeniable, I think, as far as like main characters go, um, was a little bit rough for me because I'm like, where's the counterbalance in this show? Like, where's the
His
good
brother?
guys? Is slice of life the counterbalance? Seriously? Ugh. So yeah, not he's fine. I don't like what it does having somebody so ruthless that he would kill his own brother, uh, who was not standing against him, um, as the other interesting character to follow.
Sure, but if you're trying to create utopia, you can't have two captains of the same ship.
If you're trying to create a utopia, you're insane.
Exactly.
I very much feel like Vinland Saga is the story of Thorfinn and Canute and them either confronting or working together at some point. I always thought they were going to work together. Back in season 1, now I'm like, oh, this is about them battling each other. But I don't understand why you don't see Thorfinn as the counterbalance. Yeah. There's no fighting in this. I get that, but clearly they're going to come to opposition.
So it's because no one's resisting him successfully right now, or really putting up an organized front. Instead, what we're seeing is the other person that could resist him. Really, like how? He's a king. He has so much military. Thorfinn, at best, is like a veteran that is now a slave, and a pacifist. So, obviously, the next part is probably going to deal with him confronting whether he can achieve peace, essentially, or maintain his values, kind of like a Vash the Stampede thing. can I avoid killing, or is everybody I care about gonna die if I don't do it? Like, I think that's probably what he's gonna be confronted with. But even then, like, I don't know. There's no hero. I don't like stories where there's no hero, but there's bad guys everywhere.
I think Thorfinn's very much going to be our hero. I think where I see it going, I think this is very much just very early part of the story. This is, hey, here's our bad guy set up, here's our good guy set up, and I think
I
they
think
have
you're
the
right.
farm. I think the
Eventually,
farm has a really good chance. In they won't know that. Like, yeah, all the forces of Denmark could crush this farm, but the forces of Denmark have to pay for all the forces to go there, and they're already out of cash. If the farm can just resist for a long time, they basically are. They just need to stall. There's an interesting conflict coming up here because yeah, if Canute starts putting in a lot of resources into taking one farm just so he can pay, and then but destroys the farm in the process, and then he doesn't have the money to pay, and he loses everything anyway. He's in a super tight bind, which is going to make him super dangerous, especially since he's crazy already.
yeah. Well,
I'm really excited for when we leave episode 12. I'm like, oh, the farm against Denmark, and they put Denmark in the situation where the farm has a chance. I'm excited.
I mean, they that's a little different question. Like, I think that there's going to be a very interesting conflict there. That's for sure. But 100 and something men, like 102 men or whatever, versus 13 mercenaries plus Thorfinn and Thor, whatever his other son is.
Thorgil,
Thorgil.
murder little children if you ask him to.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. So like it's definitely could be interesting. They've got the home turf advantage, but they also don't have like castle palisades or anything to hide behind. So I don't know that they are going to be as capable defenders as you would expect from a truly fortified position. But they may have time to do some fortification because he's waiting for 3 days. So yeah, but at the same time, Thorfinn is sworn off violence. So is he going to be an asset or a hindrance? How many are going to die before he does something? Like it's it could be interesting. It's just the flavor of this show is very much there has not been a good guy up to now, right? Even Thorfinn has been committing atrocities. Even in his flashbacks about who he, the
Murdering
things
women
he's
and
done.
children. Yeah.
He murdered a little kid, stabbed him in the neck, right? So I don't I don't see him as a hero. Now he might, because of his changes that he goes through here, he could definitely take on that hero persona. But at the time of like even right now in the first half of this season, I just see him as a struggling character that is capable of amazing combat feats, but not necessarily a hero.
Hmm.
He could become one though. I do see that as a possibility for sure.
But
And
isn't
also,
that all heroes at the start?
I don't
No.
understand. Let's talk about it when we get there, so we don't spend too much time on it. But I would like to examine Canute's plan here because it doesn't make 100% sense to me. But
There's this farm boy. Nothing. Could hit
Yeah, but he
womp
didn't
rats
know
with his
how to throw
16 back home, but
take down those womp rats. That's what
he
he's good
became a
at.
hero. All right. Oh yeah. I should get to talk about Canute because he's my favorite character. I love everything they're doing with this guy. Showing literal driven mad with power in a character who wants to do a good thing by his definition.
yeah,
But because we remember Canute was like this weak, scared prince in season 1. And now he's like, I'm powerful, but he's not. He's sneaking poison into his enemy's cups. He cannot win a fight on his own. As very clearly shown, we see a sparring session with him where he has to machinate to have a chance. Even if the guys tell him, you got to quit machinating. Your men watch you fight, and if you machinate, it's gonna throw off the morale. He's fascinating, and he also knows all this. He's very self-aware in the fact that he sees his dead father's head haunting him and making fun of him for being the same as he was. Um, and he's like, no, I'm doing this for the right reasons. The head's like, no, you're not. You're doing this because you're mad with power, and that's what we do. That's what that's what the crown does to you.
You're a Targaryen.
And he even says, "Oh, you can talk to me during the daytime now." He's like, "I'm in your head. This is you're crazy." Um, I think, I didn't. We ended season 1 with he's the hope of the future, right? And to see that spiraling out of control as he tries to embrace that, and the harder he tries to embrace that, the worse he becomes. To where we're getting to this upcoming conflict of I need to hold on to my armies to hold all this power I've gotten to create this utopia. So I'll start stealing farms from innocent people. um, yeah, he is fascinating. And nice glow up for that guy. He had a rough look in season 1. And, he's doing better for himself. I like the headband too. It's a good headband's a good look on a Viking. Yeah, I'm a fan, and I wish the entire show had been him with like little cuts of Thorfinn cutting wheat. I think right now he's the compelling story, and we jump through his story very fast. We see him at different points of his campaign of taking England, and then we're told like, oh, and this guy got sick all of a sudden. He got sick, and it's funny because the narrator is trying to maintain historical accuracy while the show itself is not. So the narrator's like, they got sick. Maybe it was a coincidence. And then the anime is like, I'm straight up poisoning all these kings, where I think history might be a little fuzzy on how those kings died. Doesn't matter. I love that. And he's real. Didn't we learn?
Yeah, he's real.
Yeah,
I've got the Britannica article open, and apparently he did a lot of the like machinations to get prominent people killed and
yeah,
engineering the death of Edmund's brother Edwig.
So while I get what you're saying, Jeremy, from watching it from like a history, sometimes there's just not a good guy who saves the day.
It's true
for a long, long time.
Yep.
And in Viking times, probably doubly so.
Yeah. But that's a documentary. Like I'm fine with documentaries, but if I'm watching something for entertainment purposes,
Hey,
different flavor.
You know what Vinland is, right? You remember?
I mean, yes.
I don't
America. America's coming, guys. This is
right.
an American saga.
Oh my god. Well, it's got a long way to go because this is back in 1016.
I know. I was
America.
When Thorfinn's like, I want to create a place with no slaves. I'm like, oh, it's not Vinland. That we don't do that for way too long.
Right.
It's gonna be a while.
And the no war thing, not going great. We're not.
Yeah,
no.
We haven't nailed that one down yet.
Yeah, been 1,000 years, bro.
So yeah, but Canute, we see his machinations. He has a scene where he arrives at a battlefield. He talks with Floki. If anyone remembers Floki, super Viking guy. He's just like, I want to fight and kill, and he's mad because of machinations. He's like, I don't want machinations. And
I want
Floki
murder.
Says, I said I'd follow you and see what kind of king you be, and so far you suck because you're machinating.
Okay, that's two different people. You're talking about Thorkel. That's the big guy with the bandana.
I thought that was Floki.
Okay.
Is the one Thorkel calls him Dice Head, and he's like a little bit
You're
smaller,
right.
but he's
Floki's
also
like
blonde.
he was like Ashlad's manager.
Oh,
You're right. Floki's that guy, and then Thorkill is the big brute, super giant Viking guy.
super brute.
Thank you. Neither really matter in this story.
Yeah, they're there for like 10 minutes and then it's over.
I think they really matter in the sense of who's gonna win, Floki or Thor, whatever his name is, the other son, murderer of everyone.
I need to see Thorkill fight Thorfinn again.
Yeah,
they need a rematch. So I'm actually really hoping that's coming in this second half of the season. Which I guess we should say we're not watching. We're not
continuing.
not on the podcast.
Yeah.
don't
I
think
might
I've
watch
seen
it on my own, but
I definitely am. I'm.
I'll look it up.
I deserve some fights after all this fun farming.
For
I'm
putting
getting
up
my
with all
payoff.
that.
We see this great scene of Canute talking with the guy he just beat in this battle, and the guy's like, "Here's all the silver and stuff." Very typical of the time, right? You fight, and then we pay you for peace treaty, which is basically why you would start fights. It was a good way to get income. I've played video games where I've done this, and and
You're basically the mafia at
yeah,
that point.
and Canute's like, I don't want your payment. He literally walks across the silver like this is nothing. He's like, I want you to betray your king and help me kill him. He's like, no, I'm loyal. He's like, you're paying me silver. You're not that loyal. And he takes him outside. He's like, hey, we're gonna light a smoke signal, and he does, and then like all across the horizon, smoke signals light up. He's like, this is me. This is what I have, and I can crush you at any time. And then it's like, and then the king got poisoned.
Yeah.
no, he got sick.
Yeah,
Yep.
the king got sick all of a sudden. It worked, and then
Weird.
his son took over, and his son got sick, and then Canute was the king.
Yep.
And that's how we handle Canute's story for now.
I
And
did
then-
think one little detail that that was interesting was that when he walked across the money right before he did that, he picked it up and he said, "You're trying to pay me off with Dane gold." So that was gold they had looted when the English had raided the Danes. So he was literally trying to pay him with his own money.
Right.
That's even more insulting to a king.
Yeah. We're clearing forest with Einar and Thorfinn.
Wait,
Show.
Yay!
really?
They're
new.
working on stumps, and they decide they need a horse, and they can't use the horse they were using last time because that was the retainer's horse. And this all comes up to an old guy being like, "Help me pick rocks out of this field," and then they do, and they start doing chores for this old guy, and he starts letting them borrow a horse, and they find out the old guy is actually Kettle's father, the former owner of this farm, who still works a little piece of the land and likes to live off on his own in his little plot. He very much disapproves of Kettle's expansions and
Love-hate
greed,
relationship with
basically.
Snake.
Yeah, Snake
Yeah.
saved his life, they said once, and ever since then is just like crashing at his house whenever he feels like it, and then yells at him like, "Feed me food!" "No, I'm not feeding you food. Get out of my house." It's like, "Oh, you like me." And this guy's name is Sferkel, and he's basically like the leg up they need to be able to get to their freedom because they couldn't have done it with just what they had. And so thank God this guy comes along.
And he had a plow.
And he teaches them how to fish in a metaphor that I've never heard before.
What? I wonder what the lesson is, though.
You teach a man to fish?
I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
No, he had a quizzical face. Look at the camera. He didn't know what I meant.
I knew
Look at
exactly.
you, Jason. No,
Oh.
not you. Him.
Oh, the other one,
The other him.
the other
I
co-host.
didn't catch that there was a metaphor, like, but
Really?
you're right. I mean, they even do show Ecclesiastes at one point up on the screen. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
This was entirely a nod to that.
I do love the animation of the old guy trying to explain how to like spin the net. No, you gotta do it like this.
We also learned this is where Kettle pays King Harold, who is Canute's brother and the King of Denmark at this time, for protection services, even though there's like nothing that he could do. The farm's too far away. It's literally like 5 days away by ship. But he pays him a ton of money every year anyway. So if there was ever an issue, the king really does have to come and try to help save the farm. We see the Arnav, that's the female slave, flirting with Einar. This doesn't go anywhere. She gets in trouble from the mistress. Is this Kettle's wife, the one
Yes.
who slaps Arnav? Okay, I didn't know if she was like the head of the female servants or both would be called mistress, so I wasn't sure.
So what's really weird is that later, when we jump ahead by 3 years, the slave girl gets called. Maybe I'm getting her mixed up with Canute's sister. one has curly hair, the other has blonde, straight. Otherwise, they look exactly the
They do
same.
look very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really thought that the mistress was gone, and she was called the mistress by someone else at the farm.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Maybe
Because
I'm probably
even
getting them confused.
because they have a big existential crisis when they're like, "Hey, when I get back, you'll have your freedom," and they're like, "Well, it sucks that she can't get her freedom." So it's like, well, then she's still a slave at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a wife slave.
Yeah, but if you're a mistress, then I guess you can still be a slave. I don't know how slavery works.
I don't know either.
I'll tell you, it's not good, man.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not good.
Yeah, I heard. Never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke.
Thank you. With a little patch of ground that they've managed to turn into field at this point, they do. Einar and Thorfinn plant seeds. Are we at the part where Thorfinn's decided he wants to live? I think so. I think at some point, Thorfinn, through all this, has been like, "Oh no, it's not yet." I mean, it happens in waves, right? At first, he's super depressed, and then he's like, "Okay, I guess I do want to live, but I'm not gonna let that." That's ever since the guests were cutting him up. He's like, "Okay, I'm not gonna just like be suicidal."
my
But
body
he's still
wants to live.
right now. He's just very much like, "I don't know anything. What's a plow?" Oh
Yeah,
my god! Look,
you're like a baby.
I know this is historical accuracy, but we don't need to have two characters be like, "The plow is so cool." Yes, it's one of the greatest inventions of all time. It's like top 3. We get that. But come on. No two farmers were ever like, "Wow, plows, just plows, man. They're so cool. Look at plows. Just love plows."
A farmer must have made this.
This is the best invention I've ever seen. It will be. Printing press is way far away.
Yep.
Was it Age of Empires?
Hey, I know what I know, and yes, it's thanks to civilization and games like that. Then we get so Kettle comes home with his older son. This is Thorgil. He is a guard in Canut's company. And he's just the opposite of Omar in every single way. He's a brute of a man. He loves killing. He's like, "Yeah, let's kill all the things. Here's my necklace of ears. Omar,
Yep.
look at my necklace of ears. Omar, come with me. We'll kill everybody. Let's do it." And then Snake finds the thieves on the farm, which are 2 children whose dad has disappeared.
He went to go get milk.
I know. I said the same thing when I was watching it.
Yeah. Except for it's definitely more implied that he was murdered and not
Right.
his family.
They probably got
Yeah,
him.
and their pregnant mother is sick, and I'm like, of course she is. And then it's this big, how are we gonna punish these children? And then Potter's like, "Hey, we shouldn't cut off their arms because then they can't work. We'll just beat them instead." And yeah, the whole scene is really to set up Kettle again as he's a very merciful, kind man. Thorgil's like, "Let's just kill him. We gotta kill him. Kill these kids."
Yep.
And he's like,
Yep.
"What is my son?" And him like when he hear Potter start saying like, "Let's not do that," he's like, "Oh, thank God, I have a way out." And then they have to beat him, and then he has to do the beatings
To save the kids from being beaten to
right. But he
death
also
by his
raised.
son.
He did say 5 hits, and he's like, "No, 10 each." So
Mm.
again, it's very much showing that Kettle has a kind heart, but also believes in sticking to the morality of the times so that he can keep his position because he doesn't, and that's why he
Well,
cries to his slave girl at night, like,
yeah.
"If I'm weak, no one will listen to me."
Exactly. Yeah, he's entirely doing that to appease them. Like,
Yes.
doesn't even matter like what the expectation is. It's just what is the expectation of this specific group right here?
Right. Whereas
My son.
a real strong person would have been like, "Here's what I believe in. Here's my morals, and I'm going
Mhm.
to stick to that regardless of what you guys
Yeah,
expect of me. I'm the boss here. Get on my
exactly.
page or deal with it." So yeah,
Mhm.
again, but I thought it was really good storytelling because it didn't just tell us Kettle is a weak man. They're showing us how weak he is
Yeah.
through this storytelling aspect. again, I mucho respect for this, even though he is a kind of a miserable character.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah. Beats him, cries to his slave girl. Super cool. Thorfinn keeps having nightmares.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he keeps waking up and be like, I worry I've forgotten something. I'm like, you said that last time. Why are we
Yeah.
doing this again? This is literally the same thing over again. Um, the retainers are mad at their field because slaves shouldn't have a better field than we do because it is Einar is actually pretty good at farming and has really good crops coming in. So they destroy it, and this leads to Einar and Thorfinn get mad and they go off and Thorfinn throws a punch. He resorts to violence, and then that leads to a giant brawl where Thorfinn gets knocked out and Einar beats them all up himself, and they run away to go tell on him. And then we get Thorfinn's dream sequence. Thorfinn dreams of waking up in Vinland and he thinking his real life had been the nightmare that he's been having, and he meets his father, and his mother's like, nah, I smell blood on you, you're a killer, this is not what I raised you to be. And then he falls into what's hell, but it's not hell. Ashlad's there, and who's the Bjorn, the guy who would take the mushroom and turn into a berserker. Bjorn's down there, and all these people are just fighting and killing, and Askeladd's like, hey, thought it'd be a while before we saw you here. He's like, well, where is this? He's like, this is just where warriors go. We just keep warrioring. There's no good guys, no bad guys. We just kill. It's the best. We live down here. And
I
then,
love this take on Valhalla because Valhalla is always described as like
Well,
this beautiful place with feasts and everything,
He-
but there's also always fighting.
but Thorfinn asked, "Is this Valhalla?" And Ashlad explicitly says no.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
I do think that the whole reason that they asked it is because it is representing one of the major aspects of Valhalla, which is endless battle, endless fighting. And so just to see that aspect of it represented here is really cool because it's corpses gleefully, insanely chopping each other up over and over again. In many ways, it does look more like hell, like Christian hell, um, but yeah, I definitely had never considered the possibility that in Valhalla that it would actually match up with that scene. If you just take away like the feasting and you just take the warrior side, it actually does kind of look like that.
what would warriors do if you put them in a giant area together? They would just start warrioring each other all the time,
Yeah.
never ending.
Exactly. And they'd laugh and they'd love it. Yeah. Especially if they could regenerate and like put their head back on their body and do it again.
And then the souls of all the dead that Thorfinn has killed climb up and grab him. And then Askeladd's like, "Hey, you gotta climb up. You gotta carry that weight. You gotta redeem yourself. You can do it." And so he starts climbing the imaginary dream cliff.
Which he's done before, and every time he wakes up, he's got his arms out. And when Askeladd said, "I can't believe you're down here," he said, "Again, you already got out." So this is his recurring dream. This whole sequence is his recurring dream. He just never remembers it.
Well, and he never gets out. And I think the
Right.
implication is this time he does, and that's why he has his epiphany.
I don't like it. I thought the conversation with the father was good. This just seemed like beating a dead horse at this point.
But this episode should have come like 4 episodes earlier.
Yeah. I just
It was
kinda
a way
felt
to
like
bring Askeladd back too. Like it was throwing a
Yeah.
bone from season 1 characters that we liked.
that's what it kind of felt like, almost a fan servicey. Hey, remember these guys? Here's a reason for them to show up.
A Member Berries episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then he decides he's gonna be a farmer. You're a slave, man. You don't have a choice.
Well, and he's
Right?
gonna bring world peace.
Oh yeah, he
And
does decide I'm gonna end war and slavery. And I'm like,
how are you gonna do that
Yeah.
as a pacifist?
do you have a plan? Did he ever
Yeah.
say I'm a full-on pacifist?
No, but he implied
Yeah,
that
he
I'll
says, "I've
never
sworn
kill
off
again.
violence."
Yeah,
Yeah,
sworn
he
off
literally
violence.
says, "I'm swearing off violence." That's
Yeah.
a pacifist.
Um,
At least for their own actions. I don't
How
know
you-
if they would condone others
Yeah,
commit violence.
how you gonna impose your will without violence?
Yep, exactly. How are you going to stop somebody from killing you and all the people around you? I don't know. There's flaws in his reasoning.
I mean,
worked
it's
for Bastard
idealistic.
Stampede.
No, it didn't. It got people killed. Anyways, let's not rehash that now.
Hey, they cleared the whole forest. It's been 3 years. Everything's great now. Oh yeah, this is where Thorfinn's like, yeah. So he had 3 years to think about it from that point and be like, I think I'm going to end war and slavery
I'll wish it.
and world hunger.
Right?
do all
Send
that.
my intentions out
and save the
into
whales.
ether. Yes.
Yeah, and then Kettle comes and visits. He's like, wow, you guys did so good. I'm going to free you early, even before the harvest comes in.
As soon as I get back.
Just
So-
let me go do this thing.
Yeah, and there's one thing that bothered me because right before this, they said Potter said the harvest will be so big, we'll have a lot of extra money from it. And then he's like, I'm gonna free you before the harvest. I'm like, wait, do they still get the extra money then? Probably not.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe wait it out. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go away, promising to free you. I'm sure I'll
Yep.
be back a lot.
Promise.
And so, yeah, he goes to see King Harold in Jelling, which is also where Canute is coming to visit his sick brother. And when he goes to visit his sick brother, he sees the ghost of his dad being like, I can't believe you poisoned your own brother. And later, he's
you
like,
monster.
look, I'm trying to unify the world, and there can't be two kings. And the narrator specifically tells us that King Harold was like, totally had Canute's back. Like, I will send extra forces for you. I got you. We'll do this side by side. I got Denmark. You got England. We'll be co-kings. And Canute's like, poison. One king.
Yes. As soon as the narrator said that King Harold fell ill, I was like, Canute poisoned him. You bastard.
But again, I liked it. I liked showing the corruption of what started out as a dream and an ideal. Like you guys say, how you impose your will, you have to poison your brother. Jason
Don't
loves
kill
it.
your
It's
allies.
tactical.
I didn't say I love it. It's just this means
You
to
love
an end.
Tactical.
No, I
Yeah,
like strategic.
Killing your brother is a means to an end. I get it.
100%
Jason has no brothers.
for a reason.
That's right. Anymore.
Then
Yeah,
we get
right.
the scene of Canute sparring. Basically, this all comes to a head where Kettle arrives and realizes, oh, the king has changed. Well, my son works for this new king, and maybe he can get me a meeting, and we can do a little new deal, and I can get everything going again. Meanwhile, his idiot son, Omar, has picked a fight with Bug Eyes. Bug Eyes must have been in season 1. I didn't remember Bug Eyes,
I don't remember Bug Eyes either.
but he must have. He's drawn like a character we've seen before, like we're supposed to recognize. So I'm sure he was in season 1. But that leads to Leaf and Kettle meeting and talking about Bug Eyes, whose real name is Thorfinn. And he's like, oh, I also have a Thorfinn on my farm. And he's like, wait, I'm looking for a Thorfinn on a farm.
What a coincidence.
And so Leaf's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Kettle's farm and find the long lost Thorfinn. Meanwhile, Kettle goes to Canute, who we see Canute right before be like, we're almost out of money. And his advisor's like, we could just lower the army. And like, we won. We don't need a big army. He's like, nope, need a giant army. He's like, well, you could raise taxes. Nope, people revolt against taxes. We could just start taking farms away from people and getting the money. Now, Jason, you had an issue with this.
Okay. Stealing land from farmers doesn't just turn to silver. Like you have to sell the products that are on the land. Why not just seize Kettle's assets? Like, I don't understand why he needs to expropriate his
Requisition.
oh no they
think
use
that's
the
the
word
term they use.
use the word expropriate.
Not
Yeah.
in the subtitle.
Oh
But
well,
go on.
we watched the real version, so it's fine.
Of course,
Sure you did.
it also called it Walmart, so I was very lost.
Right.
We're gonna have Walmart.
Yeah. Every government that's ever seized farmland and then decided government is going to now run farm has always led to terribleness. So I know Canute doesn't have the precedent, but it doesn't feel thought
exactly.
out, right? It's like, I'm going to steal the land, then it turns to silver. Like, I don't know where he's going with it, is all I'm saying.
How is he not also considering the fact that the other farmers nearby will know that this happened? Like, are you think that by fear they're going to be okay with that? They know that they're going to be next. Like, you're sowing as much dissent as if you'd raise taxes, potentially more.
Now you have
there's a lot of problems.
You have Kettle there in your palace. The smart thing would have been to do is arrest him for one. Cover of night would be best, and then two, let him know, hey, we're taking all your funds, or we're gonna burn your farm down, and anything you sell, you need to basically give us the silver for it because we have troops to pay. Like that would have made more sense.
They were trying to do that, but their machinations didn't work, and I don't know that they could have. I mean, he's the king. He could just make up anything he wants while he's in the audience chamber. All three of them were there. Only his men who are loyal to him would have been able to vouch for Kettle, and none of them would, so he'd have no defense. But I don't know. It seems like he tried to do something more complex than it needed to be, and that's where he failed.
I think his plan was basically what Jason said. I don't see how there's much of a difference.
Who's he going to get to run the farm?
The audience chamber.
There's still people on the farm working it.
Oh, you're talking about that?
Well, my question is, if troops come and seize the land and there's any sort of resistance, they're going to start just slaughtering anyone who knows how to farm. Mm-hmm. Who's going to work the land? And then also, slaves. If you like burn down everything in order to take the land, what are you going to sell?
Who said he's burning it down?
Okay, but like in that time period, how do you strike fear in the people that you're trying to take the land from? And if they hold themselves up in buildings, how are you going to get in the building? You burn the building down. Like
that's what I was saying. I actually think it's a better standoff than the numbers show, because he can't damage the product he's coming to take, even though the people he's got to run out are in the midst of the product. So yeah, you're right. He can't burn the farm down, or he doesn't have a farm to work. But it's also not about this one-time payment. He needs a steady income coming in. So he needs the farm at all times. There's not really anything he could do with Kettle. The whole point is Kettle committed a crime, and we had to seize his farm because now there would be no one there. If it's just I take Kettle's farm, then yes, then the farmer next door gets worried. But if it's, Kettle broke the law, of course he had to take the farm. Someone's got to run that farm. That doesn't strike the fear in the hearts. But now you're right. It doesn't work out historically when you do this. But Canute doesn't know that. He knows historically it doesn't go well when you raise taxes on the English and the Danish.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the viewpoint of 2026 to benefit you.
Obviously, that means he needs to do what I think would be best.
He should wiki how this turns out before he
obviously
makes his decision.
Did he watch a YouTube tutorial on taking over farms yet?
I just think it's kind of funny that he has he creates a machination in public to do it when he could just have his men. When they're in the audience chamber, he could fabricate something there. It doesn't go well for him in public, and he didn't foresee that, which also surprises me because Wolf should have known the capability of Kettle's son.
Yeah.
So just kind of
Guess they
very
assumed.
sloppy.
I think it bad luck that Thorgil was there, or did they just
Yeah.
forget Thorgil was the way he was? Especially since he's probably made a name for himself. He seemed to know, like he's in the throne room during the meeting. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, the machination is like because at first Knut's like, yeah, I'll totally take the same deal, Kettle. And Omar's like, I want to work for the king. Knut's like, oh, show me. And Omar sucks. He embarrasses himself trying to cut a pig. Um, and then Knut's machination is he has men come over and be like, hey, you can't join the king's guard because you suck at chopping a pig. You suck so bad, which makes them start a fight. One of the Knut's men makes the guy lose the fight and get killed. And then Thorgil slaughters everyone else who gets mad about their friend getting killed. And then the cops show up, and Thorgil's like, wait, why are we arrested? Yeah, I know what the law says, but this happens like all the time. And so Thorgil's immediately like, this is a conspiracy against us. This isn't normal. Armed swordsmen challenging each other to a duel and killing each other doesn't get you arrested in modern times. So we need to run. And they get smuggled out by Leaf back to the farm. And Knut's like, well, I guess we're going to war with a farm now. And his dad's like, ha 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 ha, you're at war with a farm. And that's how the first half ends. Now, again, I think part 2 is set up to be awesome.
Yeah.
I love the pieces in place. I love the politics of it because Knut's in a tight money bind. There is a chance for the farm. You're right, like 100 men should be able to win, but if their farm is smart, they just need to outlast. Of course, they don't know the money issue, so who knows what they'll do. I wouldn't be surprised if they also lose the farm in a day.
Yeah.
This could go either way, but I love all the pieces in play. It just took 12 episodes to set up what should have been 3 episodes or 4 to set this up.
Yep.
So with that, let's go to final reviews. Anyone but me. I'm not going first.
I'll go first. That's fine.
Episode
I'm used to you
200.
saying, Jason, what do you think? Like,
Jason.
yeah.
I don't have to do everything, okay? Sometimes you can think for yourself.
Have you seen me play Rainbow Six? Come on. I need handholding.
That jokes. He never stops.
I know. They're the best kind of jokes. It's just too slow, and there's just it like Jeremy was saying, there's just nobody to root for. There's some interesting characters. I also like the exploration of the political machinations, and then also like the PTSD. There's too many characters I just don't like, and I think there's potential here. There's a lot of changes I would have liked to see, but I'm just kind of at a 3. I don't hate it. I don't think it's like Kisniver, but I think it's not Freerin, right? So I give it a 3. The animation's beautiful.
All right, Jerry, your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Maybe a little bit harsher. I abhor slice of life. Absolutely hate it. And this smelled a little bit too close to that for me for a very long time, where it's just like, oh, let's grow wheat on a field and chop down trees, and we'll have occasional arguments with people. Okay.
Jeremy's like, what is that? Oh, that's slice of life. Oh,
yes. Yeah. Oh,
Two-
smells like
two-
sulfur.
232 episodes. He still has no idea what a slice of life anime is. He's never seen one. He thinks everything is slice of life.
I have totally seen Slice of Life. I even looked it up at one point. I know what it is.
Yeah, we've
and
had that fight. I know.
This reeks of it. This reeks of it. I know that it's not Slice of Life. I'm saying it shares some qualities, and for me, that's enough to throw it in the trash bin.
It's
You
like a
think if-
slice of life
you think
rubbed
if no
itself
one
on it.
fights, you
That's
think if no
right.
one fights for 3 episodes, it's a slice of life.
Yeah, I think if the most important thing that I'm taking away from this is characters' emotional development, then yeah, that to me that's either drama or slice of life, and I hate both equally. So
Is,
that works.
is there a heartfelt conversation? Oh, this is all slice of life.
That's right.
Why
What's
are
at
you not
stake?
explain to me a magic system right now or get out?
Yes! Expand your world. Give me something interesting. Show me that something is at stake.
Are
And
there power
yeah,
numbers? No? Get out of here.
that's right. Where's my visor? So yeah, for me, this one is for the first half of this season, I'm at a 2. Just barely scraped a 2.
I am also at it too, with the belief that by the end of the season it'll probably jump to a 5. Like I bet I give the whole season.
Yeah.
Once I go back and finish it, I imagine it's going to jump high. Um, they're clearly taking their time setting things up, and I can appreciate that. It just was very rough to go through that process, and the next 12 episodes could blow me away, and I'll hardly remember even the last 2 episodes of this. I was like, wheat, I completely forgot about wheat, but no, I didn't. You showed it to me for 8 straight episodes. I can't.
Wait, you make
Did you
bread
watch
out of
every
this?
outro? Did you watch every Weedy outro?
I did.
Oh man, that's just hammering it home.
My favorite line was when wheat makes bread. How? Come on, man. Yeah. So it's just a 2 for me, but it's like it's a weird 2 because the 2 I'm not really holding against it. They're doing their own thing, and I respect that. And
A 2 does not say respect, by the way.
I know, but to me, the 2 is based on how much I enjoyed it. But I would rather live in a world where storytellers tell the stories they want to tell at their pace. I'd rather watch this and then get the great, awesome thing than, hey, here's 12 episodes of a fast moving shonen that's the same as every other shonen. So,
Or I
That's true.
reincarnated into a
yeah,
vending machine.
yeah,
Or some slice of life.
or a slice of life running with a piece of toast in your mouth, you filthy piece of trash.
That's right.
I'm gonna be late.
All right, watch out for Truckun. Yeah, I think that wraps it up. So, if you have thoughts on the first half of Vinland Saga, and for those who voted for this, I'm sure are like, you have to finish. I will. I'm going to finish, and I will give.
I will too.
Follow up. But feel free to let us know on our website, theanimebakaclub.com. Hit that contact us button. Tell us what we're missing, guys. Golden waves of wheat. Or
And wheat products.
Twitter at Baka.
Fields
Twitter
of
at
wheat and
Baka.
barley.
I gotta say it at
Golden
Baka
barley.
Podcast, or wherever you found this podcast.
Anime Baka.
Leave a comment or a review or a thumbs up or hit that bell or bite the weenie Riz relish.
Whoa.
That's a Grease reference. That's not that bad.
That is.
It's a Grease reference.
Oh,
Very topical movie.
From like the 60s?
yeah.
No, it was about the 60s.
Oh.
Made in the 70s. No, it was about the 50s, made in the 70s. Or something like that. It doesn't matter. John Travolta was in it. Our next anime, the final season of My Hero Academia. What happened to Deku? Let's find out.
Does All Might still have huge hair?
Probably.
Yeah, I was just playing.
Spoilers coming
we don't...
next episode. Let's say goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
So Canute was aura farming in front of that fire, right?
Sayonara.